Hello, everybody. Charles Cook here, founding partner of Cook Baxter Immigration. Great to be with you today. We've got a lot of things to talk about because the Trump administration is literally driving off the side of the cliff at this point with immigration. We knew that it would be this bad. Well, those of us that were immigration lawyers for decades knew how bad this was going to be. We knew the people behind it. We knew who was running this administration. We knew this was going to be, how do you say it? Simply awful. Simply awful. That's how it was going to be. And because we knew it was going to be simply awful, we prepared. And we tried to get you all to prepare. But, sometimes it's just not enough. It's not enough. The first thing I want to talk about today is DACA and an update both on the green card options and on DACA itself. So I actually talked to one of the lawyers handling this case for the defendants, the plaintiffs, the interveners, and they're as frustrated as everybody else. So it's now been a little under 2 months. All the documentation was submitted last of the documentation was submitted on November 24th. So the judge had 60 days. This is, I would tell you, it's slower than I would have hoped, but it's not unusual. When it comes to federal courts. It's not, this delay is not an unusual delay. It's not a time where we start panicking, the judge is never going to make a decision. He's still within a relatively normal period of time. Not that we like that, not that we think that's a good idea, not that we are enjoying this time. It's just that there's really nothing you can do about it. Now, if the delay got to 6 months or a year, then there's things you can do about it. You can file a motion for status conference. You can file a motion for a decision. You can't sue the judge. You can go back to the judge. My guess is Judge Hannon knows. I mean, maybe he's in bad health. I don't know. I mean, he's a senior judge anyway. So, and I'm sure he's upset that the Fifth Circuit shut him down on a lot of his gobbledygook. And I'm sure he would like to go beyond what the Fifth Circuit told him to do. But the reality is he can't. I mean, he knows what the rules are. And I think ultimately he'll issue the decision, which will reactivate DACA for those 90,000 that filed previously, reactivate DACA for those that are now eligible and have never been able to file. And there's probably several 100,000 people like that. And it reactivates DACA for advanced parole, hopefully more aggressively. I will give you an update on the advanced parole. I asked my staff before, I'm going to check right now. I asked my staff before getting on today's call if we have received anyone, and the answer is no. We're now at 12 months. We've got several filed in January of last year, and so it looks like it's now a 12-month processing time for advanced parole. Well, we know they're approving them because we've seen them. So I won about 3 or 4 weeks ago for a late December filing. And I think we had one early January one that was also approved. And I saw it on Dreamers Together. We saw people that had gotten them as well. And we know it's still possible to get an emergency advanced parole if it's truly, literally your mom dying. That's what this one was that we worked with the young woman to get. And she had to put on, she had to put the tears on, honestly, at the interview. She had to do that. So it is something that it's still available. So if you have a dying parent, I mean, obviously you should try for the emergency. And we also had a young woman who went because her job required her to go, and she's going to lose her job if she didn't go. And I was surprised they granted that, but they did. So more power, it exists. So DACA folks keep doing it. And of course, people with DACA, as everybody should know by now, if they've watched this channel for any length of time at all, that you can actually apply for a green card through DACA, through employment. Now, obviously, everybody knows if you travel, get a legal entry, you can adjust your status in the United States through a spouse or a child over the age of 21. And we've done hundreds of these cases. But you can also do it through employment. Now, it's a lot slower than it was. When we started doing this about, 9 years ago, first of all, you can't adjust status for an employment-based case. You have to consular process, which means you either have to have a qualifying relative, a mom or dad, a spouse, or who can apply for a waiver if you got your DACA after 18 and a half, or you have to have gotten DACA before you were 18 and a half, and then you don't have any unlawful presence. That will bar you from consular processing. Right now, those categories are EB4, EB3, EB2, EB1. EB1 is an immediate green card, and that takes less than a year. But it's also available for EB2, EB3, which are probably anywhere from 3 to 6 years, and EB4 is probably 11 years. So nothing's immediate anymore. When we first started doing it, there was no wait. Just processing times, which took a year and a half. And we've done this for a couple of our own employees, plus a lot of other clients as well. So just be aware that's out there. And people will worry, what if DACA goes away? Well, then you can't do it, right? You need DACA in place. And once again, a reminder to all our Texas friends, once the judge Haddon issues a decision, we know that USCIS will send you a letter or an email or a message somehow, probably through the portal that they have that says, hey, do you still live in Texas? And if you do, they will tell you they're going to revoke your work authorization, but not your DACA. You stay legal. But if you want to keep your work authorization and you live in Texas, you're going to need to leave Texas. Either commute to Texas, which you can do. USCIS has already said they actually issued Texas was complaining about that, and USCIS responded to that, oddly enough. Sure, we're not going to do that. They want to live in Louisiana and work in Texas. Perfectly fine. They can do that. So that's our DACA update for today. Hopefully that answers a lot of your questions. I know there'll be some questions in the comments that we'll get to in the end, but this is what I want to talk about right now. The next thing I want to talk about, really, really important, how to prepare for ICE encounters. But I just got a text. I saw it pop up on my computer here, and it's, well, I thought I saw it pop up on my computer. Maybe it's in it's weird. My messages don't all come in one place. It said, this is a text from somebody to my phone that Homeland Security just stopped at their door. Any possibly hopping on a call quick today? Well, Tyler, obviously I can do that when I'm done with this. I will let them know I am done with my live. I don't know why they came to Tyler's house, but we're going to find out. So let's say ICE knocks on your door. Do you have to let them in? No, not unless they have a judicial warrant. A judicial warrant it says at the top, District Court of Georgia, District Court of Kentucky, wherever you live, District Court. They might show you what's called an administrative subpoena. That's on the letterhead of ICE. It says, we give ourselves authority to enter your house. That's not a real warrant. They can't use it to enter your warrant. Now, you've seen ICE ignoring the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment says that a federal government officer cannot enter your house without a warrant signed by a judge. They've ignored that. I get it. But your first option is simply to say, do you have a warrant signed by a judge? If they don't, you don't have to talk to them anymore. You don't have to let them in. There's no requirement that it happen. If they say they do have a warrant, have them either pass it through a window or under the door. Do not open the door. They can pass it through a window or slip it under the door if that's possible. And you should call your lawyer at that point, because then the lawyer might be able to get there and deal with the situation. So first thing, don't open the doors. Let's say somebody opens the door. Well, once ICE comes into your house and somebody has let them in legally, they can look around for things. It's called exigent circumstances. And they can look around generally without a warrant for things that might harm them. Okay. I mean, it's all a scam. I know it's a scam. It's pretext. But that means they'll go into rooms. They shouldn't open any drawers, but they're likely looking for somebody specific. Now, you saw them drag a U.S. citizen out of a house in Minnesota in his underwear, basically, in freezing weather, and then haul him off and then just release him. ICE is really bad. There's a lot of bad people working for ICE. There are. The normal police officers don't do this. They're trained not to do this. But ICE, whether they've had training or not, is irrelevant because they're not following it. So one thing you should never, ever do is resist. You should never resist being arrested. You should never resist it. Just keep saying, for example, if you're a citizen, just keep saying, record this. I'm a citizen. There's always people around, right? Record this. Also, if ICE is approaching you, turn your phone on. You are 100% allowed to record ICE. If they tell you to stop recording, say, no, I have a legal constitutional right to record you. So what can I help you with? If you are pulled over by ICE, the police can pull you over for traffic violations or even in roadblocks. I mean, they can do license checks. ICE may be there. You are not required to tell a state police officer your immigration status. If a ICE officer asks your immigration status and you are a U.S. citizen, you have no legal obligation to answer them. You don't. You might want to say, I'm a U.S. citizen, and especially if you think that things are going to escalate. But if you're not a U.S. citizen, you are required by law to tell that officer your immigration status and present documents of it. By law, for example, permanent residents are required to carry their green card around with them. It's the law. I know you don't want to do it because you're afraid you're going to lose it, but you're required to do it. If you are a non-immigrant, you're here on a work visa, honestly, you should carry your passport and your I-94 card with you. Now, what ICE is doing is they have an app on their phones, and they can take your picture, and if you've ever been in touch with the U.S. immigration system, ever, your photo will be in there. This is their part of E-Verify, is all this really is. And their computer's fast, generally speaking, and they can know within seconds what your status is. But again, I'm not telling you to cooperate with them. I'm just telling you to insist on your legal rights. If you are detained or arrested by ICE and you are legally in the United States, ask them for the ability to call your lawyer. Or if you are being arrested in the street, you can shout out your phone number to people around you, to your lawyer or to your family, so they can be alerted to what's going on. That's how you prepare. Obviously, try not to go into places or be in locations where ICE might be. Now, if you're in Minnesota, that's really hard. There are like 3,000 ICE agents walking around a city of 150,000 people. They're everywhere. They will be coming to other cities eventually. They'll be coming to red states eventually. But right now, they're part of Trump's retribution campaign. Nothing more, nothing less. Minions under orders from the boss. But they will be coming to other states and other locations. We also have learned today that in Houston, the USCIS will be sending out FDNS officers. These are fraud detection, national security folks. Mostly these are contractors. And they're going to businesses where H-1Bs and Ls are employed. Under the H-1B rules, the employer is required to present them evidence and present the individual so that you can talk to them. You understand that you have a legal obligation to answer just the questions about your job. You're under no legal obligation to present them information about where you personally live or about your family. What they're trying to do is make sure, supposedly, that you're actually doing the job on your H-1B visa or your L-1. So make sure you know what your company said your job was and make sure you're doing it. And if you're not, talk to your lawyer today and your company and tell them that you want to amend your visa so it says that you are doing exactly what your visa says that you are doing. So that's how you prepare for ICE. That's how you prepare for FDNS. Very, very important to know that resisting will likely cause problems. And suing immigration for damages, for civil rights violations, is very hard. It's not like a regular police officer. The U.S. Supreme Court has basically given carte blanche to ICE and to Customs and Border Protection that protects them from virtually any lawsuit. I mean, it's possible, but it's really, really hard. So don't count on, hey, if they abuse me, I'll just sue them. That might not work out for you. All right, that's that today. Let's talk a little bit about litigation. So right now in the H-1B litigation, this is for the $100,000 fee that Trump illegally imposed on employers. All of you know the Chamber of Commerce sued and lost. They lost because, honestly, I don't think they did a very good job. And they had a tough judge, but she's a fair judge. Something really pissed her off about how this case was presented to them. Our case, the one I'm part of, is up for oral argument on the 19th of February. We will hopefully have a decision by the end of February. The government is moving to dismiss the case way late. Okay, whatever. Judge is not going to dismiss this case. I think they're relying on the fact that they won in D.C. and trying to argue that, hey, this case has been decided. No, this case hasn't been decided. Plus, we have a very different case. The chamber was from chamber members. Not for us. Ours is a class action and includes everybody not a chamber member. So if you're a chamber member, you may be screwed. The chamber is having their oral argument in March. We don't know who's on that panel yet. Hopefully they'll win. They do have one of the two best arguers on the case now, Paul Clement, who just argued in the Supreme Court today. And hopefully that will make a difference in that case. So just understand, what I would tell you, if you're somebody who needs to apply under the H-1B visa, tell your employer to apply in the lottery. Even if there might be a fee, there's the only fee for the lottery is $215. Apply for the lottery. If you win, that won't be till the end of April. We will have a decision by then, and I truly believe that we're going to win. I truly believe we're going to win. I get a lot of questions about the F1 visa revocation lawsuit that we filed several months ago. And as you know, that was put on pause by COVID, and not by COVID, by the government shutdown. And then the government has until I think it's the 29th or 30th to file their response. There's no update beyond that. I suspect the government is going to file a motion to dismiss, is what I suspect that they will do. And then we will begin litigation. Let's just hope there's not another government shutdown that pauses the case again. And again, what we're trying to do there is get the visas back for our F1 plaintiffs who had theirs prudentially revoked because of what we believe to be illegal actions by the government. Also, a couple other updates. We did file the 39-country lawsuit against USCIS a week ago. We are finalizing the Department of State version of that 39-country lawsuit. And we're also doing intake right now for the 75-country immigrant visa pause. So you've got the 39-country, they're not working on any cases. And then you've got the 75-country, we're just not going to work on immigrant visas. A lot of folks going abroad. Supposedly it's only prospective, but we're gonna file a lawsuit. I know Curtis has got a lawsuit going as well that he posted on Twitter. I saw that. But please share the word. This is what we'll be doing. Okay. And then finally, we've got the lawsuit on U visas and T visas. So if you've been granted deferred action under U and T, the government's still arresting you. That should be illegal. And you have to litigate these when you get arrested. We're filing a proactive lawsuit to allow us to, we got the 10-second thing there, to stop that from happening in advance. And then lastly, just let you know, we have, I think, over 50, maybe 60 habeas cases that we've won in the Southern District of Georgia and the Middle District of Georgia. These are people in Folkestone and Stewart and Irwin being held by immigration. A couple things have happened, though. Immigration judges have apparently been told to make it really hard to get bond after a federal judge orders bond. Now, that may be the law. Maybe there is another lawsuit that we will have to file, but we definitely see that right now. And so far, these attorneys for the government have filed 80 appeals of the 80 cases they've lost so far. I mean, we've got 40, 50 of them, 60 of them, I think. But that's going on. So if you're undocumented and you get picked up, you've got to file a habeas, then you got to file a bond. That's how that works. And last but not least, just remind everybody, Trump's plan is to stop all legal immigration. That is Trump's plan. And how he's carrying that out are the country bans, slow walking cases. And then finally, just to let you know, we are going to be doing a diversity visa selectee lottery for the fiscal 2026 folks. We'll be gearing up on that and hopefully have that live by early next week. Hope to file it by mid-February. And so we'll get word out about that diversity lottery here this next week or so. So pay attention to the Impact website, and we'll go from there. All right. Now, if everybody knows, of course, if you want to make an appointment, you just call 404-816-8611. We'll get you in. We'll do Zoom. Zooms are better. Do a Zoom. Zoom is easier. It's faster. Better for you. Better for me. Do a Zoom. You can make that appointment by calling that number. And, of course, you can email me your questions. I actually answer my own emails. You know, it's funny how many people don't email me. You can email me. You don't make an appointment to email me. You got a question, I'm happy to answer it if I can on the old email machine. All right, let's take a look at some of these questions we've got today. We've got some 47 so far. Asmari, Colonel Asmari, one of the military commanders of Camp B. I don't know who Asmari is and who the commandos of Camp B are, but welcome. Mustafa Chabot, what are the chances of Lord of obtaining a visa if legal action? I think they're excellent. But we're only suing for our plaintiffs. We're not filing a class action. We're only suing for our plaintiffs. So if you want to join. I think we've got a great case. Keep in mind, we sued on this exact same issue in 2019 and 2020, and we won because the government cannot not process visas. The government cannot use 212F as a basis to deny visas. That's illegal. 212F is not a visa denial. That is an entry ban. Entirely different thing. You're entitled to the visa, and then when you have the visa, now you have standing to litigate the 212F question. Okay. Asmari, I was in the U.S. Army, Allied Forces. I am no longer in contact with. Oh, you must be from Afghanistan. Let's see. It was stated before that the PI for is going to be requested. No, we didn't say that. We're going to file it as quickly as we can, and we're working on it right now. So we didn't say the 19th. We're going to get it done as quickly as we can, and we'll work on it. But a PI takes time. It takes a lot of effort to get this thing done. We're well on our way. Hola, Adriana. How are you? Hola, Margot. Rachel, what's your best educated guess as whether you guys going to decide to stop adjudicating? I know Rachel because she's emailed me this exact same question and didn't like my answer, I guess. I don't think USCIS is going to stop adjudicating the 75 countries because, one, it's a memo. It's not from the president. It's a memo from Rubio, and it's about immigrant visa processing only. So, no, it has the 75 country ban has nothing to do with H-1Bs, just like I told you previously, Rashid. Waiting a year so far, 618. No, it's 2 years. It's 2 years. There are 25 months right now. Will they target people waiting the decision? I don't think so. I just don't think they're that competent. But no, I don't think so. From Kenya, EB3, rest of the world skilled, just PD got current, still not received IV letters or delay, what to do next. Have you called the National Visa Center? That's what I would do. I'd call the National Visa Center and find out what's going on. Have your lawyer call them or email them or send the memo that you do. I already have DACA, apply for green card. I'll still keep renewing. Yes, you keep renewing your DACA until the day you have your green card. Well, there you go, Adrian. You said it, not me. How safe to travel with DACA? It's perfectly safe. You can travel with DACA inside the United States. You can get on an airplane. You're okay. Don't worry about it. You're okay. Just carry the DACA with you. How is the H-1B lawsuit still on track? I already answered that question. Will TNUB's litigation move forward with impact? Oh, well, we only have 6 plaintiffs, so we don't have enough plaintiffs yet. That's why we still got it open to try to get more plaintiffs on board. Updates to the permanent bar issue? No update. As I told, I think I said it last week, but I may have said it in Spanish. The government has until, I think, early February to respond. So that's kind of where we are. Rachel, what petitions were actually paused? The 39 country is a ban on all cases. They just stopped working on every case on the 39 countries, both USCIS and state. They're just not working on them. Eric Kelly Rodriguez. Hey, I know you've been telling doctors to renew their document. Yes, I still tell you. That's why they're going to renew it. He told me I can't send it. Well, your lawyer's wrong, and it won't be rejected. And if he's got a question about that, he should call me. Renew now. You're perfectly legal to do that, Eric Kelly. Eric Yelly. Is that your name, Eric Yelly? Sounds like 2 names. Yeah, renew now. Your lawyer's wrong. And I'm happy to tell him he's wrong if he wants to talk to me. What would be the expected outcome if the judge grants PI and there are applicants who file waiting? Then immigration should adjudicate their cases and approve them. That is the expected outcome. Okay, but we're not suing in a mandamus. All right. So this is not to get your case done faster. It's just to get it back on track. So you get back in the line wherever that line happens to be. Noeli, I have DACA and I adjust my status. My citizenship is from Nicaragua. Will pause on visa affect my case? So you have a pending adjustment of status. So yes, you're part of the 39 countries. I think, right? Yeah. ¿Qué pasa con las nuevas aplicaciones de DACA que quedaron en proceso? Están quedadas todavía hasta que el juez decide el caso, como expliqué en los primeros minutos del caso. When do you plan to file the PI? We're working on that now. We're literally drafting it as you speak. Does the new halt of immigrant visas apply for AUS? No, it's just for immigrant visas at consulates. Was the amendment of the third country lawsuit filed? Not yet, because that's what we have to get filed first. We're going to file that with the PI. See, they go together. Can a person with a green card and removal order who travels in it be removed? Well, you no longer, if you have a green card, you don't have a removal order anymore. It doesn't make any sense. So I don't know what you're talking about. That's strange. What's going on with these fines for 8? Yeah, well, here's what. Obviously, don't ever pay those, but you can contest if you get a letter saying, "Hey, you owe us $1.8 million," you need to appeal it because it's an illegal fine. They can't fine an individual poor person $1.8 million. It's illegal, so you have to appeal it. Talk to a lawyer that does this. We do these. We can certainly fight these. Angel, good to see you. Okay, I have a question. That's if the judge could try to reject. Trust me, district court judges do not reject the Court of Appeals. That does not happen. He is required to follow the mandate. The question is when, right? Could parole in place help someone who's affected by the permanent bar for entry as a child? No. Was the amendment of third grade lesson? No, not yet, because we just closed registration yesterday. So give us a break, man. Let's see. Is it safe to travel right now with DACA? Yes, I already am. You only have, remember, folks, only ask once, otherwise I'll block you. Can you please tell us the latest updates? I already did. Good afternoon, Super C. Cuba, I got back from Cuba on Monday evening. Cuba is a very depressing country. It's just depressing. It's just sad. I mean, it clearly was a beautiful country at one point. It clearly was really amazing. And now it's not. It's not. I'm sorry. It's just not. It's dirty. Everything's expensive. The power goes out all the time. I mean, I've traveled through a lot of countries around the world, a lot of poor countries around the world. This was bad. I mean, people aren't starving. At least they have food, right? But man, it's bad. It's soul-suckingly bad. Hola, abogado. ¿Se puede salir del país con advance parole? Si tiene DACA, sí. Hi there. Could you tell me what year is going to 601 waivers? They're taking 25 months. So just go back 25 months from today, and that's where they are. If you get picked up by ICE and get deported despite no criminal history and active DACA, but waiting for renewal approval, yeah, you need to sue. You need to sue. And this, people, is why you renew a year in advance. Donaldo, call me. We have one of these cases pending right now. You should have had a hearing as well. I don't know why you didn't have a hearing. Medicaid and SNAP benefits for children, will that affect the new DACA application when they start to approve? I don't think so. It shouldn't be part of deferred action because it's really it's only for immigrant visas. From Form G28, could you show me how it needs to be done? Why? It's for lawyers to file, not for you to file. You don't worry about a G28. Only lawyers file those. Thank you, Donaldo. I appreciate all you do by listening. Router night. If someone doesn't have a lawyer on call and they get today, anybody get? Yes, of course you get a lawyer. Lawyers are always available. I mean, you've got my phone number. Put it in your phone. Call us. Mixi Teo Samuels, a friend, did hers recently. She was told those on food stamps. Oh, I've never heard that, Christian. I've only done thousands of these. Clearly, my puppy is not happy. Mi hijo tiene cita para ajuste de estatus por matrimonio con ciudadana. I'm going to let my dog out. She's barking at somebody. This is what. It's the propane man is here to put propane in the tanks. Glad he came before the massive winter storm. Si mi hijo tiene pronto para ajuste de estatus por matrimonio con ciudadana, tiene DACA, entró legal. ¿Cómo está en la oficina? Es bien, podemos hacerlo. La adelante está bien. Chévere, felicidades. Maria Villamontes, I've heard it's recommended in case you get denied for some reason. DACA expires, you get approved. Yeah, exactly. That's why you always have DACA. Do you think all the judges are scared of going against? No, judges are not scared of anything with the president. The president can do nothing to them. Good afternoon, Mr. Cook. When I came here from 13 from Honduras, currently TPS, be knowing my limbo, my steps 121, I have remove order to parole. What should I do? You should be filing, if you've traveled on parole, arguably you just file a 212 waiver with your adjustment of status application. You can also file a motion to reopen and see if you can get your case reopened. You have to do a FOIA first for that call, so we're happy to help. Yadira, what do you do if immigration detains someone with DACA? They should be released. They call their lawyer and get a bond because they should absolutely be released. What about PI for 39 countries? Why is it delayed? It's not delayed. Thank you. What is the criteria for the lottery? Can anyone apply? The green card lottery criteria is you have to be from one of the countries that can apply for the green card lottery. What we don't know yet is if state's going to have a lottery this year, which is of course be illegal not to do that. But they've been slow. It's applications are submitted in October, and typically announcements are made for winners in April. Are 130 I-130s affected by 75 country pause? No. I sent a motion to reopen a remove order with an approved months ago. I haven't heard anything. What should I expect? I have DACA also. Who sent it? Your lawyer? Who did you send it to? You meant you filed it with the court 7 months ago and haven't heard? That's unusual. That's unusual. Buenas tardes. Aún estás preso? Yeah, por supuesto. Good afternoon. I'm getting ready to remove conditions on my green card. How is this looking for me? Still taking long. It's taking about 25 months right now. Well, in about 2 years. My job wants to sponsor me. They told me if there's anything they can do for me, they'll do it. Can I still apply? I'm under DACA, legal entry, and clean record. Okay, as long as you have DACA, first of all, you shouldn't have a picture of yourself with a gun anywhere. That freaks the government out. Take the picture down, okay? Even if it's a fake gun, I don't care. Get rid of it. Not allowed to have a gun, not allowed to touch a gun, not allowed to be around a gun if you have DACA. 2, you have to have gotten DACA before 18 and a half. If you did, we can help. Give us a call. Let's see. Are people who joined 39 countries additional plaintiffs going to be added to the January 9th case? No, they're going to be a January 9th case. They'll be added to that. What are the chances Commissioner opens a path to citizenship for DACA recipients? 0, because they can't. Only Congress can do that. Will I-130 for Venezuela get denied? No, it won't get denied. I just won't get adjudicated unless we win the lawsuit. My daughter will be going to boot camp for the Navy. Can they help expedite work permits so I get the UL to attend her graduation? No. Sorry, Brandon. That's not a basis to expedite. What do I do if I pull over with DACA? You say, put your hands on the steering wheel and say, I have DACA. I'm happy to show you my DACA card. They might want to take your picture and you should be on your way. That's what you should do. Cooperate. Dr. Charles, mi esposo es residente y somos peruanos. Él pidió a mi hijo que tiene DACA, es mayor de edad. La petición fue hecha unos meses antes de que salga Biden. Yo quería saber si este gobierno lo puede detener la petición o sigue su proceso. Sigue. Peruanos no son castigados. When do you expect to I expected the Hannah decision last week. So obviously I'm a bad prophet. Are the U.S. authorities legally required to issue all 55,000 visas? They're required to do their best. That's what a federal court judge says. That's what the law says. Period. What do I do if ICE pulls me over with a DACA? I already answered that question, Adrian. Why'd you ask again? Hello, can you help me figure out what is the current date for the visa bulletin for EB3? Well, yeah, you can figure it out. You go to this really cool thing called a computer, and you go to a search engine like Chrome, and you put in the words visa bulletin, and you look for February 2026, and you scroll down to EB3, and you see that the final action dates are June 23, and the dates for filing are October 23 if you're in the worldwide numbers. See? That was easy. What do you recommend for DACA recipients in Minnesota? Carry your DACA papers with you. DACA, I got offered a promotion, but it's asking me to travel to Canada at a time for business. Great. You have to ask for parole. You ask for parole, and you can get it. If it's an emergency need to travel, well, we just did one of those successfully. Got to go in person, got to ask for an emergency appointment, but absolutely possible. Medrano, sent in my application for citizenship before September 20th for the ban on cashier's checks. I'm going to get the receipt for them. A check hasn't been used. Yeah, we hear there's a huge backlog on this, Jorge. Are you sure it was delivered, though? I don't know if I have any more pending from September. I might want to check that. Why didn't you file it online? That would have been a way better thing to do. You're welcome, Yadira. My pleasure. What do I do if ICE pulls me over with my DACA? Exactly what I told you the last 3 times. Yeah, it's the same damn question. Sorry, what is a PI lawsuit? Well, it's a personal injury lawsuit, I guess. Maybe they're talking about the preliminary injunction, though. Can I travel inside the U.S. with my foreign passport if you have valid status? If you don't have valid status, I would not do it. Jose Luis Rosales, I filed a U-Visa application 1024. Haven't heard anything. What can I do? Well, nothing, because it's only been pending for 3 months. Well, I guess 15 months. I guess you could sue them. You could sue them for a bona fide determination. Call Danielle Claff in my office. She's the expert on that. Adriana Baldillo, what is the chance the administration gives us something better than just a 2-year work permission? 0. There's no chance of that. Pedro La Cruz, what happened if I'm in a situation doctor and detained by ICE? You shouldn't be, but if you are, you have your family call your lawyer to get you out. David Enrique 92, renewed my DACA 1 year early, got it approved today. Yay! Yes, few months overlapping. Exactly. That's why you renew a year in advance. That's why you do it. So they overlap. So you have no time out of status. Amy Pet asks a lot of questions. Do you think he'd make a consult to ask these questions? I'm sure they're going to try applying the ban to 95 countries, 75 countries. Maybe I'm wrong. To the US, they're not going to do that. There's still demand for visas. Absolutely. Why is DACA taking longer than the work permit? Because they can. My guess is that they have reduced the number of staff working on DACA cases. That's my guess. Español, flaco, la semana siguiente hablo todo en español. Can my job sponsor me for a work visa green card? I'm under DACA, legal entry. Okay. Yeah, they can, as long as you got your DACA before you're 18 and a half, or you have a mom or dad or spouse who's a resident or citizen to get a waiver. So yes, give us a call. We help all the time. Will the pending I-134 really get denied automatically? No. Didn't you already ask this question? Why did you ask again? I'm confused. Hello from Chicago. Is advanced parole still taking? Well, now it's 12 months because we have January ones that haven't been approved yet. Can we write letters to Judge Hannon? I would not. You could. I'm not sure he'll read them. And I'm not sure it'll do any good. I mean, that's a hard heart there, buddy. Vanessa, that's a hard heart. I wouldn't waste time. André Parado, abogado, ¿cuándo llega mi cita consulado? Hay cómo demandar si no me entregaron el green card. Eso es lo que estamos haciendo ahorita en la nueva demanda de 75 países. Va a ir a la página de Impact y estudia. She's going to be going to a consulate for an interview in Brazil. Well, Brazil's on the list. You're not going to get a green card. Don't go to the interview. You got to join the lawsuit, so we win, and then you can go to the interview. If your DACA has been revoked because of arrest, everything you can be done. If it's been less than a year and you're not convicted and the charges are dismissed, I would reapply. If it's more than a year, then you reapply after Judge Hannon reopens the case. Have you heard any DACA recipients getting taken when they do biometrics? No. Why would they take DACA recipients when they're going for biometrics? For DACA, can you renew a year in advance? Yes, Ivan, you can renew a year in advance, and you should. Does the 75 country ban affect N400 in the United States? No. ¿Qué pasa si ICE pulled you over with DACA? Se da su DACA. Yo tengo DACA. Lleva su tarjeta consigo. Hello, boss. Roger, good to see you. I'm a potential plaintiff in EU for DD case lawsuit. Unfortunately, ABB didn't move last month. So 6 months ago, I was worth to join a lawsuit with my case number. Well, we know they're going to move, right? And I don't know, what your number is. But you need to sue so they act in good faith to move it along. If my DACA expires in November, should I renew now? I would. Do you think people with pending DACA will be deported if they get caught by ICE? Yeah, because they don't have DACA. How likely is it to get a 42B approval? With just a husband, no medical issues? None. There is no way to get approved with no medical issues and no hardship. You can't be approved. But she is eligible for bond. Thank you, sir. You're welcome, Hector. Is there still demand? There still is demand. Yes, there is, Beatrice. Can I do emergency AP? How long is it taking? Regular process is a year now. Sorry. But if you've got a true emergency, somebody dying, or maybe your job, you'll be fired if you don't do it. Yeah. If a person married to a citizen self-deports, Would they apply for their spouse right away? Why would you self-deport if you're married to a citizen? Why would a DACA self-deport? Why would you do that? I mean, first of all, if you leave without permission, now you have a 10-year bar if you didn't have DACA before you were 18 and a half, before 19. Why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. Kavia, does your entire immigration history pops up when a green card is scanned when entering the country? I'm going to tell you that they see some things, but they don't see your file. They can't see your physical file. All right. And most files aren't computerized. They can see your entries generally. I will tell you, now these days, if you have global entry, if you have a green card, you should be applying for global entry, and then you can just walk through. It's great. You don't even show anybody your passport. You just walk through the line as it takes your picture. Hello, if I qualify for a family petition, spouse of citizen, but entering illegally 20 years ago, how likely to be detained and deported at my interview? It depends on where you are. In Atlanta, that's not going to happen. But you might want to. But your spouse just goes to the interview. Did you come in legally, or you came in illegally? Have just your spouse go to the interview. You don't need to go. It's your spouse's petition, not yours. Do you think it's coincidence that the last day of common charge making ends the same day the immigrant visa pause? I think that's a coincidence. What do I think about VAWA? I think VAWA is going to be really delayed because I think there's tons of fraud. Eric Yelly, my husband got off from that habeas corpus, now getting all his paperwork together, gets removable. Told previously once he gets receipt number, he can apply for work permit. True. He was told by a lawyer you shouldn't apply to not bring more. No, you absolutely should. That's crazy. Of course, you can. I mean, that's crazy. Yes, apply for the work permit. What more attention does he need? He's already been arrested. ¿Usted cree que Colombia, Uruguay y Brasil solo están entre los porque son países de izquierda? No, están ahí porque hay mucha gente que sobrequeda sus visas de esos países. Y lo creo, porque lo he visto. My fiance is DACA. We're getting married. It's good to start the process. Yeah, I mean, does he have a legal entry? Because you need to do that first, unless he came in legally. Tried to delete. Okay, there you go. Okay. Beatriz, stop doing it. I'm going to delete you too. Jesus Alcocer. Hola, abogado. Mandé mi DACA el mes de noviembre. La hice por la primera vez. Si no pone mi educación, usted piensa, well, te van a negar, probablemente. Tal vez manden una pedido por más información. So he sent his new DACA in November. Why, I don't know. He should not have done that. He's just giving them money for no reason at this point. And he didn't put his educational information in. How did you forget that, Jesus? Yeah, maybe they'll deny you right up front because you didn't meet the basic standard. Maybe they'll ask for more information. But they're not even going to touch it until they reopen the cases. Is it safer to get a real ID presented if detained by ICE? Technically, DACA card should, or EAD should be a real ID. But you should have both if you can get it in your state. I have DACA. My husband's a citizen versus a gun. Can it be used against me? Can the gun be used against you? God, I hope not. No, it's your husband's gun, not yours. I lost my work permit. I have DACA. Apply for replacement. Yeah, they're taking forever. I may have missed it. It came late, but pending AOS Venezuela, our interview got canceled. That's because of the ban. That's why we want you to join the 39-country lawsuit. That's what we're going to fix. We're going to make immigration reopen those cases. You're welcome, La China. Beatriz keeps sending her stuff in here like I'm blind. Juan Neo. If removal of condition on a green card taking long, do you get an extension right away? The receipt is your extension. And the receipt is good for 4 years. What do you suppose will happen with TPS for Haiti and Venezuela? It's going to end because Trump hates those countries. Will applying for emergency Medicaid have any long-term effect on my ability to obtain legal status? That is a great question, Desi. If you can avoid it, you should. But could it? Under Trump, it could. Next Democrat president will get rid of that. But yeah, under Trump, it could. How long is someone who just got their green card stay out of the country? No more than 180 days in any 12 months. Can I carry my work permit issued by adjustment instead of my green card? No. The work permit's not valid anymore. Why would you carry your work permit that's no longer valid? You have a green card. You are a resident. Carry proof of your residence. See, that was simple. Really, I'm bewildered by this question. Can I do emergency AP for work? Yes, as long as it's truly emergency. Can you go to Mexico with expired resident card and pending naturalization since October 05? No. Why is your green card expired? When did you file for? I mean, this is crazy. Why did you wait? You need to file an I-90 to get a card. No, do not go to Mexico. Buen día. ¿Dónde está mi oficina? Está en Atlanta. Pero hacemos casos por todo el país. I have DACA and applied for AP. I received the request for evidence form, but I decided not to move forward since I did AP in 2020. Well, this case, it will just get dismissed. I would withdraw it if I were you. I would send a letter. I'm withdrawing my request. Can you? So I'm curious though, when you filed it, and Alex, when did you file your AP for which you just got an RFE? I'm curious. Can you tell me the cost of AP under DACA? Yes, it's $630. That's what the government charges. How long can someone who just got their green card stay in their home country? The same amount of time I told you the last time you asked this question, Bill. Can you explain the CSPA? Oh my God. No. No human alive can explain the CSPA. Here's my answer to you. What specific part of the Child Status Protection Act do you have a question about? I'm not going to have a treatise on this because it'll take an hour. Felix, I'm deaf. I will read the closed captions of what you said. When will they start processing DACA applications? Felix, I don't know. They won't start until Judge Hannon rules on the case. When will he rule? I don't know. That's entirely up to him. Hello, boss. I noticed the DV visible not moved. I know. I already answered this question, Roger. Stop asking multiple questions, people. This is similar to people, but a little more. Is it recommended to travel with DACA with a final order of deportation or order of supervision? Yeah, you're fine. You can travel. You have DACA. During an initial consultation, can the lawyer review documents already? No. We look at everything. When you do a consult with our office, we're going to give you a case plan or tell you don't have a case. But you got to bring all your documents in or send them in. Typically, we do a Zoom, for example. They'll send you a link to our database, and you can upload it to the portal, perfectly secure portal. The lawyer will look at it before the interview. You go over everything in your interview, and we'll make a decision what we can do. If we can do it, we'll tell you how much it will cost. See? How long is AUS taking for a DACA recipient under marriage? Well, if they have a legal entry, it depends on where you are. Most places, it's anywhere from 6 to 20 months. Just depends where you are. Is it true about maybe applying for ISI if you have a disabled U.S. citizen child? No. You might be able to get deferred action, but you're not getting residence because of that. Let's see. Andrea Bass. Hello. Public charge for PPL adjustment of status true. Can they be denied if your child had Medicaid? Andrea, they're clearly going to use it as a factor. Now, if they deny it, then you get to go to court and argue the same issues. So yeah, you got to be careful of this stuff. Isra 50K. How much does it cost the job to sponsor you? We never, ever give fees out on here because every case is different. Call for an appointment. We'll go over the case, talk about the situation, and we'll go from there. How long is consular by someone from Poland? My last case in Poland was 2 years ago, so I don't know today. My guess is anywhere from 4 to 6 months once it gets to the National Visa Center and it's documentarily qualified. Is it true that DACA receive letters to check in with immigration? Not that I'm aware of. None of my clients have had this. U.S. citizen son petition for husband's residency. So not his son. I-130 approved. Need to file detained at border. How is he going to file 45 if he's detained at border in illegal entry? I need more information. This is why we do consults. 77 Roxana 77. Probably somebody already asked, but I just joined the live. But my brother applied for someone in May. What is the waiting time? Waiting time is 25 months. So he'll get it in maybe sometime in June of 2026. Do you recommend starting the adjustment of status right now if I'm undocumented? Well, you have to do it at a certain point. Do you want a green card? Do you want to stay illegal? Only way to fix it is to start. Okay. File joint motion to reopen current recommend. First of all, no joint motions are being agreed to. So that's just a waste of your time. It was a waste of time then. He should have filed a motion to reopen. I'm so sad your lawyer chose that method. He should have just filed a motion to reopen. Now you need, presumably you have an I-130 approved. Do you have an I-130 approved? If you do, then I would file a motion to reopen. If not, get it approved. What happens if I have DACA and have a removal order? Nothing. That was easy. Should a lawyer be present at your marriage interview? 100% yes. We have seen interviews, we've heard of interviews going out of control when a lawyer is not there. Bring a lawyer. The lawyer is not going to talk. The lawyer is not going to give answers for you. The lawyer is going to make sure that the officer follows the law. And I'm going to tell you, that's important. It's really important because sometimes the officers don't follow the law. Can I show a picture of my green card? Well, you can try. They might not like it because you're required to take your green card with you. It's the law. You could actually be fined for not carrying it with you. It's an $80 fine. Is a 4-month long-time 221G IR Mumbai, no documents asked for. So administrative processing, is that long? I would say 6 months is long. 4 months is not long. Alejandra Rodriguez, when people renew DACA a year in advance, they lose time. What do you mean they lose time? How do they lose time? I mean, are you asking, do the dates overlap? No, sure they do. But you know what that means? They don't have any unlawful presence. Is it worth the risk? Is it worth the risk? I don't think so. Okay, there you go. Yeah, hate losing. You're not losing time. You might pay a little extra every year, but I'm going to tell you, is it worth your peace of mind? I think it is. ¿Qué tan seguro es viajar con DACA a Centroamérica? Well, no puedes viajar sin advance parole. ¿Tienes advance parole? Si tienes advance parole, no hay ningún problema en viajando a Centroamérica. She's asking, how sure is it to travel on advance to DACA, to Central America? Well, you can't travel to DACA, Central America, unless you have advance parole. But if you got advance parole, you're fine. Okay, Laura, if I marry my U.S. citizen boyfriend, we have 3 kids, can I apply for, would I still need, well, you still need a legal entry, Laura. Do you have a legal entry? You're not getting a green card here if you don't have a legal entry. Otherwise, you got to do the waiver. If you got DACA before you're 18 and a half. If you've got DACA before 18 and a half, you can just consular process the I-130. Okay. What do you think about the DV 2026 pause? I think it's illegal. And it was illegal the last time they did it, and that's why we litigated and won. If I have a 485 and I-130 in progress at the moment, and also my DACA renewal also expires in March, should apply for work permit through F45? Yes, you should. And you should continue renewing your DACA until you get your green card. Is there a way for a DACA recipient to get a TWIC card? Have no idea what a TWIC card is. Attorney, good afternoon. Have you heard of cases of removal of conditions of residence that get approved in days without interview? No, I haven't heard of that in years. Unlawful versus out of status. Are they the same? Unlawful presence is a component of being out of status. But having unlawful presence doesn't mean that you're out of status. Hopefully that clears it up. Good to see you, Adama. Yeah, it's good to be back. I'm telling you. Gobani Ramirez, nothing against this. I love it. Thank you. But every week you said it has been approved, but none of the group goes, well, we know that a guy just 2 weeks ago on Dreamers posted his own approval. And the woman that got approved 3 weeks ago for us got it approved. So, but right now they're at 12 months, Gobani. Nothing I can do about that. All I can tell you, not everybody posts about this. A lot of people are shy about this. Is an O1A visa dual intent? Technically, it is dual intent. Technically. Just make sure you approve I-140. You say you intend on consular processing and returning. Okay. ¿Qué tan seguro es viajar? Oh, no, we already answered that. If I applied for Visa U in 2019, just got to work for it last year, how long could it? Oh, you're probably not getting a green card for 20 years. Go back to look at the data. How many people were in front of you when you applied? Probably close to 200,000. They only do 10,000 a year, probably 20 years. AP for first-timers in DACA taking a year at least. Can I use my receipt to show my employer to keep my job until I get my work permit? What, do you have DACA? No. Recently, I've been seeing Dreamers Together people are getting their DACA DA approved. However, they get their approval notice via mail, but not the physical card. I do not know why this is happening. I do not. Waiting for DACA approval and green card process. Can I protect myself? You are. Oh, you can't. Don't drive without a license. There you go. Hello. For a DACA recipient who is currently a stay-at-home mom taking care of the 1-year-old, they say they'll work Since one child is older than start working, would the renewal be denied? That's fine. They'll grant you renewal. I don't have any doubt about that. Marcus USA 7. Hi, I went for biometrics for 601A. Help me, let me go. Kept my appointment and getting my biometrics done. They said they need to go ahead from USAS. Go back where? Where are you going back to? They only took you biometrics one time. I don't know where you're going. Waiting time for the 45 depends on the type of 45 and where it's processing. And you can look that up on the USCIS website. If I have 40 credits currently not working, would I need a sponsor or apply for a green card? You should not. But immigration may ask for one anyway. Is the EB2 NIW an option for DACA recipients? Yes, as long as you got DACA before you were 18 and a half. We get many of these. We've had EB2 NIWs approved for DACA recipients. My resident card expired and decided to apply for that shit. Well, now you don't have proof of your residence, Liz. You need to apply for both. Get your I-90 filed today, and with that receipt, you can call immigration and get a passport stamp. And then once you have a passport stamp, then you can travel. Right now, you have no proof of residence. If you're stopped by ICE, they will arrest you. Really. All right, let's see. Can I be the interpreter for my parents' 45 interview? Generally, they don't like family members being the interpreter, so it's best not to. Get a private interpreter. Hello, I was submitted along with my mom back in 20 for UVs and never received getting married. Yep, you lost it when you got married. Yeah, well, you got married, you lost it. You can't correct that. I'm really sorry. Abogado, tengo DACA, lo estoy renovando ahorita, tengo C14 por visa U. La visa U se me vence en octubre, pero mi abogado no quiere meterlo antes de 6 meses que vence. Por la visa U no puede vencerlo en más de 6 meses. Por la DACA puede. Cosas distintas. My 1 year anniversary will be March. Do I have to wait a long time to apply for residency? Ilsa, I don't know what you have an anniversary of, so I'm really sorry. My nephew is verbally abusing his parents. Can they apply for VAWA? Well, if you listen to TikTok lawyers, they think you can. I would not file that. I would just kick the kid out of the house. Ok. Ya cumplí 2 años con mi residencia permanente bajo matrimonio. ¿Cuándo puedo empezar a aplicar para hacerme ciudadana? 3 años con la residencia. How do I find if I have a removal order? My father was for my mother and a sister over 10 years ago. We never left the country for the consular appointment. I have DACA, done AP. So you can do a FOIA using your name to CBP and to ICE and to the court. You can also ask your dad, did you get caught coming in? If you didn't get caught coming in, then you probably don't have a deportation order. Okay. A couple more questions, then it's time to wrap up. Let's see. I have a pending U visa from 2018, got work permit, and question it, save it to flight international. You can't fly international on a U visa work permit. Okay. Will they reach 55,000 visas for DV-26? Not unless they get sued, they won't. Okay. Any reason O1A is variably classed as dual intent by different attorneys? I don't know. I mean, you can go read the FAM. It'll tell you it's dual intent. Just go read it. I actually spoke on this exact issue of 20 years ago at a conference of immigration lawyers and told them it was dual intent. What can I tell you? Not every lawyer is created equal. All right, one last question. My thoughts on administratively closed case for an order of deportation. You don't have an order of deportation if you have an administratively closed case. See, that was simple. Let's see. Do I believe that we can lift the pause? Yes, I do. You should join the lawsuit and we'll go from there. Okay, our time is up. I'm really sorry I can't answer more questions. I answered a lot of questions today. We will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, 1 o'clock on Wednesday. We'll do Spanish primarily next week with whatever English questions there happen to be. Till then, be very careful out there. Take care of yourselves. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.